Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Beretta 9mm USA Senior here. This is going to be a change. For you guys that are big time Glock fans, you'll probably be happy about that. This is one that we really haven't covered before. We're going back to some of our roots on the channel where we were focusing a little bit on Glock pistols. Sorry, had to wet my whistle. That's right, these Glock 36 pistols, as far as I can remember in the 10 years of the channel, we shot one other person's on camera in one video, but we've never owned a 45 auto Glock in what? Single stack. That's right, a Glock single stack. The original Glock single stack. It's real close to that inch in thickness. You've got 6+1 stock 45 ACP. So is 7 rounds enough? Well, a lot of people have been carrying 1911s for a long time, getting it done with 7 or 7+1 or possibly 8+1. The factory mag, this one actually is. Check that out. It says Glock on it. But these magazines over here in frame all have the Pierce grip on them, so it gives you a little bit more real estate right here to hold on to. Here is the factory mag, and then there is the Pierce grip mag, so you can see what I'm talking about. So if your hand is, a little bit larger, kind of like mine, and you want that extra real estate, there you go. Does it give you an extra round? I know some of them do, so let me check that real quick and so I can report it to you. Okay guys, and the answer to that is no. It holds 6 rounds. Pierce grip giving you that front section right there compared to the stock magazine, which gives you that front section. But if you turn it over, so no matter if you use the Pierce grip on this one or the regular stock grip, you are at 6+1 in the pipe. Glock 36s, the young Beretta purchased used. They're both in very, very good condition. Let me just give you a quick once over on the Glocks themselves. Very slight wear here on the hood. Got a couple of very small surface-like scratches and stuff, but basically the pistol is in fantastic condition. Here's a little difference right here. Do you see that? Little bit of difference in the finish of the pistol right there. But you look at this thing, and it is in really, really good condition. Magnificent condition, actually. Very, very lightly used. Glock 36, made in Austria. And this one right over here with the Talon grip material. This is not the skateboard stuff. This is more of a rubbery type finish. It came that way. Again, this one, as I take my glasses off to get a really super good look, has a very nice looking finish to it. Tiny bit of wear right here, so you know it's been fired at least 200 times, I would say. But the rest of the finish on the pistol is very, very nice. Frying pan like finish, guys. TGN 861. So this one I don't have a born on date on, but it's got the frying pan finish and looks almost brand new. And this one was 661, which has a born on date of 2014, April 23rd. So 2014 makes this pistol right here 10 years old. Again, barely used. Look at that. So this is what you can find on the used market if you look hard enough. You can tell this has been fired a few more times than probably this one. It's got a little more wear on the hood there. So a couple hundred rounds out of this one, maybe 100 rounds out of this one. This was probably a stash gun or something like that. It's got a little bit of wear in the finish, but they're both in great shape. Both of these, as I said, made in Austria, not US Glocks, over 10 years old. And they're not the new ones because you can tell they don't have the pick rail right here at the end, and they're not overshooting the frame ahead of the slide. So it'd be on this end over here where the frame just juts out just a touch from the slide itself, and then you'll have your one spot on your rail right here. That's a telltale sign when you're looking at a Glock 36. Is it a newer one or is it an older one? These are two older ones that seem to be in what I would say 95 to 97% condition. What did he pay for them? They're in really, really good condition for what they are, and young Beretta picked them up used. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 to $500, I believe they were, but he can correct that. If it's wrong, he'll throw it up on the screen here for you to see. The Glock 36 is not a beginner type gun to me. This is something that should be picked up after maybe you've had a Glock or two. This is something that you're gonna wear more for deep cover, a hard-hitting 45 ACP coming at you with 6+1 in one magazine, and then of course you absolutely would want to carry another magazine, which would give you another 6 rounds. For guys that like to carry something as small as they can, but yet they still want to be in that 45 ACP world, I present you with the Glock 36. My favorite smaller Glock is the Glock 30, but it is a double stack, holds 10+1. These Glocks are much thinner than that. As you can tell, here's Glock number 2. Again, you're looking at roughly just about an inch in thickness. That is what you're shooting for a hidden or deep cover type gun. Basic sights on it. Basic sights on it. You don't need anything fancy. If you're going to use something like this, you're probably engaging somebody, 14, 20 feet or closer. So this is going to be a self-defense, get off me type gun. It is sporting a set of grips here from Talon. These are not the skateboard type. These are the ones that are a little more rubbery, a little bit more comfortable as you sink your hand into this gun to control it. It is a 45 ACP, guys. If you haven't fired one, yeah, it's got a little recoil to it. So just hold on tight, point it out there, nice firm wrist, and pull the trigger and hold on to that gun as you present it, okay? It should stop you from having any failure to feeds or double feeds, stovepipes, or anything like that. Make sure you practice with your gun and practice with the ammo you're going to use to carry that gun. These are both self-defense ammo. Sig Sauer ammo does not run very well in the P220 compacts from Sig. They don't like Sig ammo in the Sig P220 compacts. We'll find out what these Glocks like. Usually they eat just about everything, as everyone knows. This is the one that we have had great success with the Sig P220s. This is the Remington bonded Golden Saber. So if you're looking for a round that we suggest you use and try, and one that's made for self-defense, that would be this one right here. If you have good luck with the SIG ammo, we haven't had any problems with the reliability of the ammo going off or anything like that. It just is picky about some of the guns, that how it runs in the gun itself. If you have problems, start diagnosing the problem. Usually the first thing that you want to kick out and start over with is change your ammo. I recently had a conversation with somebody on our channel. They were having some problems with their Beretta 96 and 40 caliber. The first thing I told them to do was pick another good quality ammo or two and run 100 or 150 rounds through it to see how it runs on that different ammo. If that solves your problem, it was ammo related. If it's a particular magazine that jams again, mark the bottom of that magazine and keep that magazine in the rotation as you're going through the 150 rounds. And if it has a problem again and it's that magazine, voila, there's your answer. You've now diagnosed it. Pull that magazine out and fire another 100 rounds using the other magazine. See if there's any other issues. If not, you solved it. Guess what I found to bring out for the video? This is young Beretta's SIG P220 Compact. So I brought it out for a comparison to the Glock 36 so you have an idea of what we're talking about here. This is the exact pistol, I believe, that did not run on the SIG ammo, but it did run on this. So if you guys are having issues again, make sure you give this Remington Golden Saber bonded ammo a try. And there's a picture of what the hollow point looks like after it's expanded. Same thing going on here, just in case you're wondering what's going on with the ammos. So it'll run on this, and it would not run on the SIG ammo. I expect that the Glocks will run on both, okay? So that's enough about ammo. Let's get the ammo out of the way. Let's take a look at this SIG real quick in comparison to a Glock 36. You're gonna find right there, right away, that the SIG is somewhat thicker and a little bit blockier than a Glock. It's kind of been that way forever, right? Even in the compacts here, you've got a small difference. People that love SIGs are going to want to go with the SIG. Most of them, you can't give them a Glock almost. But, you know, times have changed. I think Glocks in the last 15 years have gained a tremendous amount of traction in the buying public out there. There is a world of people out there that are willing to buy Glocks now. I mean, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, own a Glock pistol. And SIGs have not been as plentiful out there, and their audience is not quite as large as the audience that wants to buy a Glock. So those are differences that we've seen that have transpired in the last 10 to 15 years. And it's definitely, I think, the truth. And I'm not saying that the Glock is a far better pistol than the SIG. I don't really think that's the case. I think these are less expensive and these are very, very well proven. And so a lot of your buyers, 6 out of 10, maybe even 7 out of 10, are going towards that plastic and steel constructed pistol. And most of them go for a Glock. M&Ps, there's HKs, there are countless, right? Amounts of them out there. These are the ones that aren't selling in as huge in numbers. And I think that's one of the reasons why young Beretta and I are interested in picking up more of these. So if you want a SIG pistol, especially the P series, the P220 as you see here, or full size, the P229, the P226, the P228, the P227. I mean, there's lots of P series guns that are still out there and available, and a lot of them are available on the used market. You're almost paying for these used like $100 less than they sold for new 8 or 10 years ago. So that's just what's going on. The guns have really held their value, though the value of the dollar is different, right? So we're not going to get into that on this video. Traditional Glock and traditional SIG. SIG magazines are more expensive for sure, harder to find these days for sure. Glocks are everywhere, Glock magazines are everywhere. So if you want a SIG of any type that's a P-Series gun, you better make up your mind soon is my advice to you, and find one used, or maybe lucky enough to go out and find a couple new ones out at your large gun dealers still. I don't think they've all dried up. I don't think they've all gone away, but stuff like the 227, I doubt very seriously you can find it. Half of the 220s, different models and varieties that they had, those are gone. These have been gone for quite a while. So pick one up used in about 90 to 95% condition, and I think you'll be a very happy customer. Let's go ahead and pull the SIG back out so it's not the star of the show here. I did want to show it to you, talk about the ammo and the ammo problems with it. So if you run into a Glock that has those kind of similar circumstances, first look at your ammo and then look at your magazines. Still, this is a used gun, right? Both of these. Used guns. Magazines seem to be in very perfect condition, but could one be bad? Sure, absolutely. When you look at them, you can usually tell, you know, if something's wrong with it, or there's some missing pieces here or whatever, or it's not cut the same here as it's cut the same there. You might be able to pick up on some type of subtle differences, and that may be part of your problem. But if it's ammo related, like it was with the SIG ammo, then try a different ammo. That's why you want to take a couple different ammos out with you when you go to the range, just in case you run into any type of issues with the ammo itself. And be prepared to have extra magazines with you, and mark that magazine, hopefully with like throw a Sharpie in there. Mark that magazine, run it through again, see if you still have issues with it. At that point, if you do, it's time to take that magazine and just set it to the side. It's already been marked, and then run the rest of your ammo through the other magazine or magazines that you have with you to see if the gun will start running reliably. In most cases, it will. You'll solve your own problem. Made in Austria, so these are not American-made Glocks. Does it make a huge difference? I really don't think it does, but a lot of people do want the Austria-made Glocks because they think maybe the reliability is a little bit better, maybe the build quality is a little bit better. I find that most of them work. Very few times will you find one that doesn't work. So for the neighborhood of 450, you can find yourself almost a perfect Glock 36 and use that as your little personal defense cannon, if you will, shooting 45 ACP. Very easy to tuck this thing away. It's about an inch thick all the way around, whether it's the slide or the body of the gun itself, which is what makes it so easy to carry, right? You can see the wear right here on the slide release. A bit more wear on that one than on this one. If those small things bother you, you can always replace the small parts and start over again. One thing about it is you want to make sure that you've got a good, strong recoil spring in there, which it appears so. So that should not be an issue at all. And that one, yeah, I think they're both pretty strong. I don't anticipate any problems or issues with these two guns. We'll obviously do a video on them while we're there. So you'll see these two Glock 36s being shot. The Glock 36 started out with Glock as the original Glock single stack. It was initially announced in 1999, and they started to ship the guns in April of 2000. It's a 45 ACP with a 3.78 inch barrel. These hold 6 rounds of 45 in the magazine, plus you carry 1 round in the pipe, so that gives you a total of 7 rounds. You definitely should be carrying them hot. It does not have an exterior safety on it. It just has a safe action trigger. And let's go ahead and talk about that trigger and get ourselves some trigger pulls here. Because when I was messing with it earlier, I could have swore it was more like 6 pounds and not the 5.5 pounds. So let's see. 5 pounds, 7.5 ounces. Do it again. I do have an empty magazine in there because sometimes that makes a difference. 5 pounds, 9 ounces. So 5 pounds, 8 ounces and 5 pounds, 9 ounces on the 661. And let's try the 8.61. Trying to get it at a little bit of an angle and then pulling more straight back is what I'm going for here, folks. 6 pounds, 2 ounces. 5 pounds, 3.5 ounces. And I'll do one more just to make sure that I got 3 good pulls on this one. 5 pounds, 13 ounces. So there you go for some Glock triggers. It's funny, I talk to a lot of people on the channel about Glocks and about the triggers on them. And I was in law enforcement as a deputy and whatnot for 23.5 years, and I am very used to Glock triggers, but I find them to be the same, and I joke about them being like a staple gun because they're the same every time, you know? Is it great? No. Does it have a little mush there? Yeah, a little bit. But if you just pull steady through it, it's a good trigger, man. Is it a 1911 trigger? Hell no, it's not. Is it a good SIG trigger? Nope. And it's not a Beretta trigger either. But for a plastic, fantastic gun, these things are dynamite, in my opinion. Pick yourself up one, a Glock 36 in the early years. They're beautiful, they're plastic fantastic, and they're 6+1, 7 rounds of my favorite caliber. And they're a little bit bigger than, you know, your Glock 43 and your really small guns like that. But because they're not super fat like the baby Glocks, they are going to be easier for you to tote around and use as a self-defense or EDC pistol. And it comes in at 19.93 ounces. So it is a very light Glock indeed. Loaded up with a loaded magazine, 26.81 ounces. So not a big deal. Please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you catch us on our next video and give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. I know we don't talk about it too much. We just kind of do our thing. And a lot of you guys are nice enough to follow along and send in some nice comments. I appreciate that. We do try to run a clean channel and be respectful to each other. All right, that completes this video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, the Beretta 9mm USA channel and the CZ 9mm USA channel. Both are gun channels, and we invite you all to come along and check out the content and share in what's going on. Send some respectful comments in. We always appreciate that, and I try to answer them when I can. We'll see you guys on the next video, and remember, your Second Amendment is worth protecting.